everybody, it's Becky. I'm back with another health and fitness video for you guys. I haven't talked about any more of my fitness and health journey in the last couple months. I did a couple videos a while back of like how I lost the weight and some of my favorite YouTube channels and DVDs that I use to exercise with, and I'll link those down below if you're interested. But just over time, I've kind of figured out some tricks and little tips that have helped me to stay motivated and kind of stay on track, and to kind of psych myself out when there's times that maybe I just don't want to exercise and things like that. So I've kind of compiled a list. I've been keeping it up every, over the last couple months. Things that I have found helpful myself, and I thought that I would share that with you guys in this video. So for on those days when you really just don't want to exercise, and it's not because you don't, like if you're sick or something, and that's different. But if you just kind of like, I don't really feel like messing with it today, just give yourself at least 10 minutes. Go ahead and start something for 10 minutes. Usually by the time you get that far into it, you're already like, well, I'll go ahead and finish, or you're more hyped up and you're motivated to finish. And I have found that to really kind of trick myself into just finishing, because once you've already gotten that far into it, you're already usually starting to get a little bit sweaty maybe, and you're already dressed and wearing your workout clothes anyway. So, but then tell yourself, if after 10 minutes you really are not motivated to finish, then just stop. But I have really found that helpful, especially lately. I haven't been feeling really good in June. I've kind of had a bad month as far as feeling kind of bad, and there's been days when I'm like, am I really sick today, or I just don't feel like doing it because I'm irritated that I'm feeling not like myself. And so on those days when I know there's really nothing wrong with me, nothing physically why I shouldn't be able to exercise that day, I'll go ahead and push myself and at least start something. And some days I don't do much more than 10 minutes. If I start, maybe I'll do 30, but that's better than doing nothing. So try that out if maybe one day you're having a day like that and you really want to encourage yourself to go ahead and at least give it 10 minutes and see if maybe you don't go ahead and finish. And one thing I also like to do, since I do work out at home, is to go ahead and put on my workout clothes pretty soon after if I haven't exercised in the afternoon, which I try to do now, I'll go ahead and put my exercise clothes on as soon as dinner's over, and that way I know in a couple hours after I get the kids in bed, I'm already wearing my exercise clothes, and I'm going to be ashamed of myself if I go the whole day and wearing exercise clothes and then just take them off and don't exercise. As soon as it's possible for you, go ahead and put on your exercise clothes. So you are mentally, telling yourself, you are preparing yourself to exercise, and you're kind of getting yourself in that zone. The same way they say that you shouldn't stay in your pajamas all day if you work at home, or if you're a stay-at-home mom. Go ahead and get dressed, because it really does change your attitude and your motivation and your outlook on your day. And same thing with exercise. If you're already dressed out in your workout clothes, then you're going to be more motivated to go ahead and get your workout in. And one thing I've really learned recently with some of combined with not feeling well in certain ways, and then also I have my right calf muscle tends to keep getting pulled. It's like a reoccurring thing. So I have to make sure that I'm really careful with it. And so in addition to stretching out and making sure I'm spending extra time doing that, I have learned that modifications are better than nothing. Like used to, I would think I had to do exactly what they were doing on the screen, or it wasn't good enough. And I really, really learned through this whole process that it doesn't matter. If you're still moving, yeah, there are certain moves maybe that are more effective than others. Like if they're trying to get you to tone your lower abs, maybe you're doing something specific for that. But if for some reason you can't do that, do something else. Do crunches while they're doing the lower ab exercise, or do something. Any kind of a modification is going to be better than just standing there doing nothing. And so really try not to let yourself get discouraged if you can't always do exactly what's going on the screen. Just keep moving and then pick back up when you're able to pick back up with what they're doing. Another thing I would really recommend is to pre-screen any DVDs or YouTube workout videos you plan to do, because it really helps to get an idea of what's coming. Now, maybe you don't want to know, because if you see all the things, you might be like, oh, that looks really hard. But in my case, I know that I can't do a lot of things that are like down on the ground and then jump straight up. I have low blood pressure, and so it takes a while for my body to get adjusted to standing up and laying down and standing up and laying down. So I'll pre-screen those, and sometimes if there's a lot of that goes on, then I know that's not the video for me. Burpees in particular, I really have a hard time with burpees, because not only does it pull really hard on my right calf muscle, which I have to be careful with, it also is too much up and down for me. My head gets dizzy and I get, lightheaded and stuff like that. So I know that's not good for me. So if I see a video that's really heavy with the burpees, then I might just skip that video and think, okay, it's not for me. If it's just a couple of them, I'll be like, okay, well, they can go ahead and do burpees, and I can do some kind of a modification. So it does help me though to pre-screen them to get an idea of how it's going to go and what I'm going to actually be doing. And then also I can get an idea of somewhat of the intensity of the video. So like if it's 35 minutes and it's really high intensity, maybe I won't do anything else cardio that day, or maybe just a little bit of toning. But if it's a video that's like an hour, but it's got cardio and strength training moves, then I know that's pretty much my whole workout for the day. I don't need to do anything else. So as I'm planning my day, which I always plan in my exercises that I'm planning to do to that day, I'll go ahead and write exercise, and then usually I'll fill in like fitness blender, cardio and HIIT, blah, 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 you know. And so I know specifically not just that I'm planning to exercise, but also what exercise videos or DVDs I'm planning to do. So that kind of goes along with what I just said about trying to plan your workouts for every day and even for the whole week in advance. Now sometimes things happen and you get, like there's a day maybe you plan to exercise and something comes up and you couldn't. Maybe you could just flip that, what you were planning to do on maybe on Monday, you can go ahead and do it on Tuesday. But usually it's a good way for me to make sure that I'm getting a good, well-rounded, the workout plan as a whole is well-rounded. I'm making sure I'm doing enough arms, abs, and legs, but I'm also making sure I'm getting enough cardio. I'm making sure I'm having a rest day here and there. So it's really a good way for me not to get so busy that I don't exercise at all, and then also to make sure that I'm getting a well-rounded workout every day, not the same things 2 days in a row and things like that. And even if you put it on your to-do list, if you're the type of person that doesn't remember to check back on your to-do list a couple times a day, then put a reminder in your phone that'll go off and remind you that you have a workout to plan that day, and it's going to be to do, you know, blah 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 video or whatever. And that way you're less likely to forget about it, and the more you are reminded of it, it's just going to be something you're like, yeah, I need to do that today. Use your rest day as motivation to really push through the week. So like if your rest day is on Saturday and it's Thursday and you're like, oh, I don't really want to work out today, or I just want to eat that whole pan of brownies, then, you know, really think about, okay, I've only got 2 more days and then I get a rest day and I can sit around and watch TV and not do anything, you know. So if you just try to keep that as like the light at the end of the tunnel, however many rest days that you have, make sure that you are working as hard as you can on the days that you're supposed to be working out, so that when you have that rest day, you're not going to feel guilty so much about sitting there and doing nothing all day long. And my final tip is to mix it up. Make sure that you're not doing the same videos or DVDs over and over and over, because not only will your body get used to that and start to plateau and you'll stop seeing progress, but it's just boring. Your brain also is working out with you. You're not just working out your muscles and your body, you're working out your brain. You're trying to make sure that you're rotating things, mixing things up. It's important to work different body groups every different day. Every day you should be working a different specific body part anyway. I mean, abs, it's usually okay to double up on a couple times, you know, in a row. But as far as like alternating legs and arms, you should really be doing that anyway. But even at that, try not to do the same arm exercise video and the same ab exercise video and the same legs exercise video. Try to make sure you've got a couple things in each category that you can mix it up so that you don't get bored and your body doesn't plateau. I use Fitness Blender's YouTube channel a lot, and I actually talked about them in my favorite YouTube videos and DVD video I did a couple months ago. I can link that below. But I use them a lot because they have so many videos that there's no excuse not to be able to find something different. And not every one of them is for me. They do a lot of burpees, and so like I said, I usually pre-screen and get an idea of, you know, if it's something I'm going to want to do. But they have a lot of great cardio videos, and then a lot of videos that are just for toning that you can add here and there. So there's really no excuse to get stuck in a workout rut. And like I mentioned, I do pre-screen all these videos, so even if it's not something I'm planning to do maybe tomorrow, I'll go ahead and put it in my watch later tab on my YouTube channel, and that way I know it's, you know, they're there organized for me. I don't have to go searching for it whenever I'm wanting to do a certain specific workout. Don't forget to add some sneaky exercises into your routine, like jumping rope with your kids, taking the dog to the dog park, going swimming, taking a family walk, and things like that. Exercise doesn't always have to be in front of the screen or at the gym or on the treadmill. I mean, those things are great, and I think they are necessary, but you can still get a lot of, you know, a really good calorie burn by just running around the backyard with your kids, or, you know, things like that. So try to make sure that you're keeping it interesting so that your body gets a little bit of a break and your brain gets a little bit of a break, and it's just fun family time together as well. So a lot of people do exercise at the park when their kids are playing. They'll exercise, you know, somehow, like using benches and things like that. So that's always an option if you're brave enough to do that at the park. I'm not, but I know a lot of people are, so that's a great option as well. I hope you found these tips helpful. Since I pretty much exercise 5 to 6 days a week, you know, it's very easy to get bored. So they really help me in the long term to stay motivated to exercise, to keep things different, and to not plateau. But I will have the my health and fitness videos linked down below, all the other ones I've made, so you can go back and watch those if you haven't already, and you might find some more tips, maybe some YouTube channels that you haven't seen to find some good videos you can work out to. And let me know if you have any questions. Please like this video if you like it, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.